Here's your wrestling news for March 20th, 2023, and we're starting off with Mercedes Mone, and it was in May of last year that Sasha Banks walked out of an episode of Raw with Naomi over a creative dispute. On the show, Banks and Naomi were branded disrespectful and suspended from WWE shortly after, sparking a debate over how the superstars had acted and how WWE had reacted. Of course, fans were forging their own opinions on the matter from secondary sources, and if you're wanting the whole truth, then you're unlikely to get it. Speaking at a panel for Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City, Banks, now Mercedes Mone, was asked if she'd ever consider returning to WWE and remained coy to the idea. Mone said that nobody knows the story of what really happened last May, and said that fans have read what they want to read and believe what they want to believe. The IWGP Women's Champion said that she would not be sharing what went down last year, but did say that after nearly 10 years in WWE, it was time for a change. To some, Mercedes Mone is a hero who stood up to Vince McMahon for what she believed in, while others see her as a spoiled child who walked off when she didn't get her way. But what's your take on what happened back in May of last year? Now, Christopher Daniels is a true veteran of professional wrestling, and next month he will celebrate 30 years in the business. Last weekend, Daniels competed in the first AEW House Rules event, coming up short against TNT champion Powerhouse Hobbs, but that may be one of the Fallen Angels' final matches. Speaking to WrestleZone, Daniels was asked about his thoughts on retirement and said that he now approaches each match as if it could be his last. Daniels explained that although the spirit is willing, his flesh has been worn down by decades of taking bumps and injuries, and he is well aware that he can't keep wrestling for much longer. In addition to being a wrestler, Daniels is AEW's head of talent relations, and fans of the Fallen Angel should certainly enjoy him in the ring when they still have the chance. We mentioned that Daniels challenged for the TNT Championship at the House Rules event, and fans may soon get the chance to see that match. According to PW Insider, the show was just shy of selling out, bringing in 3,000 fans, and the show was filmed by AEW's production team with handheld cameras. While it remains to be seen whether this footage will air, the ring apron did feature the AEW Dark logo, so these matches could perhaps one day air on AEW's YouTube channel. Throughout the show, AEW President Tony Khan was live tweeting about it from the production area, advertising each of the matches taking place, so he clearly wanted fans who weren't at the show to be hyped about the matches taking place. Whether this show gets aired, that remains to be seen, but expect more AEW House Rules events in the future from Tony Khan and his first promotion. If you logged on to Twitter this week, you'll have found that the account for AEW's Riho had been deactivated, and that was for an awful reason. The inaugural AEW Women's World Champion deactivated her account due to the abusive messages she received from hateful trolls, and this wasn't just the random actions of individuals. It has been reported that a group of wrestling fans organized a campaign of hatred against Riho, and the amount of abuse she received, which included racist messages, increased when she returned to AEW TV earlier this month. Jay Dumont, a friend of several people in AEW and WWE, by encouraging fans to send thoughtful messages to an e-card, but those trolls filled the card with hateful messages, leading to the idea ending early. On Instagram, Eddie Kingston informed his fans that he has deactivated his Twitter account in solidarity with Riho, who has done nothing to even come close to deserving what has happened. Riho would receive the card, which had all the negative messages removed, and the Japanese star expressed her gratitude to those fans on Instagram, but the hateful message she's had to deal with should never have happened in the first place. During last week's Raw, OMOS and Brock Lesnar came face to face in the ring, and the segment did not go exactly as planned. When OMOS tried to throw Lesnar out of the ring, the spot was botched, with Brock looking genuinely furious about it afterward, and it's been reported that Lesnar left Raw immediately after. It turns out that this botch wasn't the only notable part of the segment, as after the botched segment, Lesnar could be heard using some language that needed to be censored. After instructing Jamie Noble to give him his hat, Brock turned to the fans and said that OMOS is a big son of a bitch. In the short shared by WWE, the promotion censored Lesnar's profanity. And are you excited to see the Beast and the Nigerian Giant lock horns at WrestleMania? Sound off in the comments. Speaking of WrestleMania, Bray Wyatt's status for the biggest show of the year is in serious doubt, as the former Universal Champion hasn't been seen in weeks. While it was expected that he would be facing Bobby Lashley next month, that match has yet to be made official, and Lashley himself has teased having a different opponent. Speaking on TSN Radio's Sunday night's main event, Dave Meltzer was asked for an update on Wyatt and explained what exactly is the physical issue that is keeping him away. He's ill. He was supposed to be at the show on Friday, and he was not, so he's still ill. They did do a quick tease of him, so he's not gone from the company. When I asked this week if he was going to be wrestling Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania, I did not get an answer, and they did not promote that match on either show at all. Responding to the rumors that Wyatt could have quit WWE, presumably frustrated with his creative direction, Meltzer confirmed that Bray is still an employed superstar and pointed out that his symbol appeared backstage during an LA Knight segment during SmackDown. Wyatt returned to WWE with a lot of buzz at Extreme Rules last October, but many believe that his run so far has fallen flat, and we'll just have to see what WrestleMania and the following months bring for the former Fiend. This year's WrestleMania will mark the 5th Mania in a row that will take place across 2 nights, and there's been a lot of speculation about which match will headline Night 1. While a recent trailer for the show teased that the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley will close the show, nothing has been confirmed by WWE thus far. Some in the company are pushing for Sami Zayn to headline Night 1, but now a former WWE champion has made his case. On Twitter, Sheamus tweeted a poster for his triple threat match in which he labels Drew McIntyre a backstabber and Gunther a sandbagger, and tagged Adam Pearce here to make it clear that this match should be the main event. In another tweet, Sheamus did a spin on his banger after banger after banger line, saying Triple Threat Mania after Triple Threat Mania after Triple Threat Mania. The 3 European stars have the chance to steal the show in their Intercontinental title match next month, but should this match headline Night 1, or is another bout more deserving? And we're ending today with Trish Stratus and Lita, who in 2004 became the first women to headline an episode of Raw, but that match nearly didn't happen. As Jim Ross explained on Twitter, there was a lot of pushback from wrestlers at the time, who felt that a women's match shouldn't close out the show, but that didn't stop WWE from giving the women a shot in what would be a historic moment for the women of WWE.